Thank you, sir. Okay. All right, that bill has 3 votes. We will hold the roll open. File item 10.
Correct.
Okay, very good.
AB 1687.
Good morning.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. AB 1687 requires websites that provide employment-related services on a subscription basis to remove date of birth information on the request of the subscriber. Even though age discrimination is against both federal and state law, it persists in the entertainment industry and is facilitated through the public distribution of job applicants' birth dates and age information on employment referral websites such as IMDb Pro. The goal of AB 1687 is simple: reduce age discrimination by requiring employment referral websites to remove age and birth date information upon request. If a subscriber is concerned about age discrimination, he or she can have their information deleted. In passing through the Assembly, this bill garnered strong bipartisan support. I respectfully ask for an aye vote, and with me to testify in support, I have Gabrielle Carteris, President of the Screen Actors Guild and the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, and Barry Broad, who represents SAG-AFTRA.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Hi, how are you? Welcome. I'm grateful to be here. Thank you, Madam Chair and members. My name is Gabrielle Carteris, and I've been a professional actress since 1987, which is, I can't even believe I'm saying those numbers. I have the honor and privilege of serving as the national president.
Child actress.
Say again, child actress. I was not a child actress, but I played one on TV. And
You did.
I did. I played one on TV, and I actually I have the honor and privilege of being the president of SAG-AFTRA, Screen Actors Guild, and American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. I'm here today speaking on behalf of the 160,000 members that I represent, 80,000 of which live here in California. And I'm asking your support on the bill AB 1687, that Assembly Member Calderon's bill, to help protect vulnerable California performers for what has become a rampant and, I believe, preventable age discrimination in employment in one of California's signature industries, TV, film, and new media. For performers like me and tens of thousands of others, the casting process is really crucial to the building of our careers. In fact, it's the only way we can build our careers. And when the doors close to us, it's virtually impossible to build or pursue a career. We have to be able to enter it. And what's important to an actor is not to be seen for who we are, but for who we can really portray. After all, if actors could only portray themselves, we would never know the work of Meryl Streep, Brad Pitt, Jennifer Lawrence, Morgan Freeman, Lucy Liu, Robert De Niro, and the countless number of familiar faces and names we don't know. For the purpose of age, this means realistic, and I need you to understand this, age range. We don't play an age on TV, we play age ranges. And I have to tell you, for the longest time, that is exactly how it was in our industry. Actors were cast within an age range appropriate to their appearance. Just like any other job, employers could not ask prospective employees their age. But the increasingly common practice of using industry subscription-based actor profile websites to filter out actors based on their actual age before they even get a foot in the door has proved to be devastating to actors' chance to compete for roles and make a living. And if you're a 40-year-old woman, it's even worse. So I was on a show called Beverly Hills 90210, and I played Andrea Zuckerman. I was 29, auditioning for the role of a 17-year-old girl. And at that time, they didn't have any industry subscription-based sites. So nobody knew my age. Our show became iconic. 2 years into the show, one of the producers said, because they had found out my age through an article a year later, said, "You're lucky we didn't know your age before your audition because you never would have had the chance to audition." 90210 changed my life, and I know that my character and the work that I did actually helped to change other people's lives. These service companies know that the information they are posting is used for casting purposes, specifically, yet they refuse when we ask them to remove the information, and even when we prove that it's incorrect, they refuse to remove the information. This bill would require only for, and this is important, for profit revenue subscription-based companies that market this type of information to honor our request to have it removed. It doesn't affect unedited user-guaranteed content, generated content. It doesn't affect federal safe harbors or anything like that. It's modest. It's really modest. It's so necessary, and I urge you to support it to help protect performers to have a fair and equal chance to compete for work.
Thank you very much. Other witnesses in support, very briefly.
Yeah, Madam Chair and members, Barry Broad, on behalf of SAG-AFTRA, I'm here to answer any questions, but I just want to make it clear so that you understand what actors face. For every other employee in California, your race, your gender, your height, whether you're beautiful or not beautiful, all of these things they can't discriminate on. But they can if you're an actor. They can basically say that is not a part, you know, a woman can't play George Washington, so you can't audition. No other job is like that.
You could.
Right, so when you think about it, so age is an extremely important area where it isn't a bona fide occupational qualification that an employer is permitted to discriminate on. And it's, as Gabrielle pointed out, it's extremely important to actors. It is their bread and butter. This bill is very narrow. This is about subscriptions, and we're allowing people to have the benefit of what they've paid for. So urge an aye vote.
Thank you
Move the
very
bill.
much. There's a motion by Senator Hertzberg. Witnesses in support, please name and affiliation.
Madam Chair, Michael Young on behalf of the California Labor Federation, here in strong support.
Thank you very much. Other witnesses in support? Are there any witnesses in opposition? Witnesses in opposition, if you would step forward.
Yo, baby.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, members. Robert Callahan with the Internet Association here, regretfully in opposition to the bill. First off, let me say we fully agree with most everything that the proponents talked about. Age discrimination, preventing age discrimination is a very worthy cause. However, our concern is that this bill does not accomplish that goal for several reasons. And it also, in the process, raises significant concerns for freedom of speech, and it is also targeting parties that are not the ones who are actually engaging in discrimination. But on the point about the actual impact of the bill first, the bill unfortunately would fail in essentially scrubbing the internet clean of lawful public information, which is not a goal we would support regardless, but because the approach is essentially a takedown of age information from certain websites, it's worth exploring what the bill would accomplish if its full extent became law. For better or for worse, age information about actors, actresses, and others can be found from myriad sources across the internet. Because of that, the bill would not prevent bad actor employers in Hollywood, no pun intended there, from continuing to engage in unlawful age bias. Just as a quick example, while the bill is clearly targeting imdb.com as a specific, service provider, as the definition talks about, there are numerous websites when you look up a date of birth of a actor or actress that it can be found upon. Wikipedia, biography.com, IMDb, Google, astrology websites, Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Britannica.com, Rotten Tomatoes, MoviePhone, TVGuide.com, Fandango, et cetera, et cetera. So again, while we completely empathize with the concern over age discrimination in Hollywood, the bill, even if it targeted those subscription services, would not be effective in bad employers from being able to find that age information. The bill is not just confined to the world of subscriber services as well. While that is the definition and that's what captures the providers, the second piece of the bill is really where the breadth of its requirements comes from, and that's under section 1798.83.5C, which extends the reach of the bill when a subscriber requests a takedown of age information to all internet websites under the control of the subscriber site. So a website like IMDb Pro, which is a subscriber service, is owned by Amazon, and Amazon owns many websites, including IMDb.com, which is a public-facing website, and many others. That requirement extends to all of those other websites as well, regardless of whether the content was gotten outside of that subscriber relationship. Interestingly enough,
If you could quickly?
Certainly, yeah. Interestingly enough, IMDb Pro already meets the original requirement of the bill, which is allowing its subscribers to take down its age information off of the subscriber site and the subscriber profile. It's really the extension onto other websites, which raises, and I'll wrap up here, which raises concerns over freedom of speech for publicly posted information, for factual information, and then also intermediary liability concerns under Section 230 of federal law. So for those reasons, we oppose regretfully. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Other witnesses in opposition? Any other witnesses in opposition? All right, we'll bring it back to the committee. Could you respond to that? I mean, the notion, I'm not at all worried if it's a subscription-based program, that I don't see that as an issue of, I think you referred to it as public information. It's a subscription where people pay to have that information. But I am concerned, if you would respond to that statement, that if Amazon owns IMBE, and Amazon owns a lot of things, how that would impact them and whether that might be sort of an issue of free speech.
So the difference is that you have IMDb, IMDb Pro. IMDb is more public. IMDb Pro is a subscription website. The reason why we focus on these two specifically, especially IMDb, which is considered more in the public domain, which is also owned by Amazon, is that these two sites are the sites that you go to find information on actors. My wife and I, we go to a lot of movies. We love movies. Always wondering what different actors are in different projects, you know, what they've done, what's coming up. These are two websites, or at least IMDb. Every time I say, oh, this person, I wonder what they're in, wife, every time, go to imdb.com. And so these are, especially IMDb, this is a website where people are going, whether they're in the public domain or within the industry, to find out specific information about actors. And so it's their age. And so you have the subscription side, which we want them to be able to regulate what information is on there, which is not on there. But on the IMDb side.
Right, if Amazon, the way the analysis was just interpreted is that everything Amazon has would be impacted. So I'd like you to, am I correct that that's your suggestion, that everything, it's a yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so would you respond to
Yeah,
that?
that's actually incorrect. What it's talking about is parallel websites that may be a free website, and it's limited to an online profile of the subscriber. So it doesn't cover news sites. It doesn't cover, almost anything else. It's just a situation where there is a and there are many types of services that are like this, where there is a subscription side where, say, an actor can add lots of information about themselves, which is a paid subscription side, and then there's a parallel free side. That happens to be the case in IMDb. It may be the case in others. It's only in that narrow circumstance where there's another actual online profile of the subscriber. So it's true that it would affect a publicly owned website, but it would be essentially, it's very narrowly limited to a profile of the subscriber.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Did you want to add to that very
Just
briefly?
I just
Yes.
want to make a clarification. He mentioned Wikipedia. That's not at all what we're speaking about. We really are talking about something specific to casting directors, what they're looking at.
And to an industry itself.
Yes.
All right. Questions? Thank you, folks. Senator Morlock.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm just curious, the comment was, how do you scrub the internet clean? You know, if you want to find out someone's age, it doesn't take much, right?
No, you're right, and that's not the goal of this bill. But the point that I was making earlier is that when you're given the realm in which you're searching that person's information, the entertainment industry, you're going to go to imdb.com, which there is a subscription side. So because there is a subscription side, and then there's the public side that's not subscription, that we want to be able to say if an actor doesn't want their information on it, they can pull it down, because that's where people are going to find out information about actors. We're not saying you could scrub the internet. It's something different. It's just that it's connected to the subscription side of IMDb Pro. They're the same, just one is subscription based and the other is where you can put public information on there. But that is information that people in the public can see, but when you're trying to find information regarding an actor, you go to this website. And so it affects their ability to get work further on down the line. As Gabrielle was talking about, a 29-year-old playing a 17-year-old, they had that information. They would have probably gone to imdb.com, seen that, might not have been able to get that job because of that specific website.
And I'm a little skeptical because you can Google anybody and get information. I think we all do it for a lot of different reasons, but I'm just trying to figure out if that's the right fix, and I'm having a little difficulty.
Well, but you also have to understand they're operating within the confines of existing law, where there is age discrimination laws already in existence, and you're not. This is Hollywood, and they have a different way of doing things just because of the industry, and they have allowances to be able to determine whether or not you can give somebody a role based on the way they look and other factors. But this is more specific. You're going to go to this website to find out information about actors. You're not necessarily going to go to Wikipedia. We're not saying you could take the information off of wikipedia.com, but because this is a website where you're going to go to find their information, this is a better place to try and do something like this to continue to further age discrimination. Are you ever going to get rid of it? You're never going to ever get rid of it. But it's just something that we can further do to protect these actors in a staple industry in this state, to make sure that they feel like they have the best opportunity moving forward to get the work, and that they're not going to be discriminated against because they can go to the website that everybody goes to is just blasting their age right there, and then they can't get work because of it.
And in the meantime, I open page 2 of the Orange County Register, and I get to see every actor's birthdays today, and I get their photos, and so I get at least the month and date, the day, but not the year. But it kind of comes close if they're ranking them.
I just don't know how many producers are going to go to Orange County Register, open up a piece of paper and see how many.
I apologize for bringing it up.
Thank you. Would you be willing to make a clarification to that extent? You're talking about parallel. If there's some concern about the language, I hear what you're talking about, tying it to parallel sites, so that if you do that.
Absolutely.
Fine. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. So that takes care of some of the concern. Wikipedia, but I hear you in the industry. I'm thinking when we want to look up bills that are being heard in the legislature, we don't go to the LA Times. We go to the website that exists specifically for that purpose. And it seems to me we're not interfering with a First Amendment right. If Amazon owns other products, and I don't even want to know how much they do own, but clearly, if we're talking about pinpointing it to these specifics, I think that we're protecting the First Amendment and and at the same time, the concerns that are articulated. I happen to know a number of actors, particularly women, as they get older, the work is harder and harder to find, but that's a whole nother subject. So with that, if you'd like to briefly close, and we'll entertain. We have a motion by Senator Hertzberg. Assembly member, if you'd like to briefly close.
Members, I appreciate the discussion. I appreciate your time, and respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Great. And with the understanding that we might tweak that language just to clarify for the concerns expressed. With that, please call the roll.
The motion is due pass as amended to the Senate floor. Jackson?
Aye.
Jackson, aye. Morlock? Anderson? Hertzberg? Aye. Hertzberg, aye. Leno? Monning? Wojciechowski.
All right, that has 2 votes. We'll leave it on call for the absent members. Thank you for that interesting discussion. Let's see. Which bill does Cooley have? Yeah. Unless you're just having fun, Assembly Member Cooley, you've been here so long, I'm feeling guilty that we're taking so long to get to your matter. But all right, Assemblymember Cooley has file item 28. And as I understand, we've got some modest amendments.
Correct, Madam Chair.
Please feel free to go ahead and present. File item 28, which is AB 2249.
Colleagues, I'm here to present AB 2249, which seeks to protect historic landmarks in California state parks from private trademark claims. The outgoing concessionaire in Yosemite National Park, much to everyone's surprise, trademarked iconic sites in Yosemite Valley: the Ahwahnee Hotel, Curry Village, Badger Ski Pass, Wawona Hotel, all listed on the National Register of Historic Places, all trademarked by the outgoing concessionaire. So the weekend before last, when our president, the first time a sitting president visited Yosemite since 1962, he didn't stay at the Ahwahnee, he stayed at the Yosemite Majestic Lodge. He went by Half Dome Village, because Curry Village had been renamed. He flew over Badger Ski Pass, or Yosemite ski area. Anyway, this bill simply provides that a California State Parks concessionaire cannot use that contract as a basis for trademark. If someone's been in a historic area like historic San Diego, Old Town, Monterey Historic Area, Columbia State Park, have a long-established business which incorporates that name in their business name, that's no problem to use the name. But simply on the basis of a concessions contract, you cannot use that for trademark. The bill also provides that you cannot, the State Parks Agency cannot agree to such a trademark arrangement, as seemingly happened in the Yosemite case. It does provide that the state of California could assert its interest and defend against such trademarks. And one of the proposed amendments is if that is done and the state's rights are vindicated, that in the event that it's determined that there was bad faith involved, there could be attorney's fees, so the state would not have to pay for that. And would also delink the declaratory of existing law from a provision of the bill that starts on January 1st, 2017. It's a very good bill. It has no very substantive bill, has no opposition, and I believe it is an important vindication of our public's rights in the names of treasured locales in California. I request an aye vote.
As amended.
As amended.
Very good. Okay, any witnesses?
And if members who wish to join as co-authors, I'd be delighted to have the members of this committee as co-authors.
Thank you.
Join you, Madam Chair.
To join me in that effort, and certainly appreciate this bill. I still want to go to the Ahwahnee Hotel, but I guess I
like
can't
that
anymore.
idea.
All right, witnesses in support.
Margot Parks on behalf of the California State Parks Foundation in support, and thank the author for bringing this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Other witnesses in support? Are there any witnesses in opposition? I note that there is none that's appeared. So with that, we'll bring the measure back to the members. Any comments, questions? All right, seeing none, I want to thank you for this. I think there are some parts of California that are best preserved with their history intact, and I think this will do it. Motion, please.
Motion, so moved.
So moved by Senator Hertzberg. Madam Secretary, the motion is due pass to the Senate Appropriations. Due pass as amended to a Senate Appropriations. Please call the members.
Jackson?
Aye.
Jackson, I. Morlock? Morlock, I. Anderson? Hertzberg? Hertzberg, I. Leno? Monning, Wachowski.
You have 3 votes. We'll leave that open for the other members to
Thank you,
join.
Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Members.
It will be on call. File item 11, AB 1719 by Assemblymember Rodriguez. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please proceed.
Madam Chair and members, AB 1719 is a common sense measure that would put more lifesavers in the community by ensuring every high school student in California receives hands-only CPR. Hands-only or compressions-only CPR is CPR without rescue breathing. It is quick and easy to learn, and instruction can be facilitated by anyone who is following an evidence-based curriculum such as those by the American Red Cross or the American Heart Association. Language in this bill addresses liability concerns raised by school employees and reflects training standards for compression-only CPR as laid out by the American Heart Association and the American Red Cross. Teaching CPR to high school students will empower them with the skills needed to increase the chance of survival for cardiac arrest victims. With me today to answer any questions is Christy Woods from the American Red Cross.
Thank you very much. I note that there is no opposition, no amendments, so if you'd like to give us a short version of your support, that'd be great.
Yeah. I was just here to answer questions.
All
Yes,
right.
thank you.
Are there any questions? All those, all right. Other witnesses in support, please step forward.
Amber King with the Association of California Healthcare Districts in support.
Thank you.
Callie Hampton on behalf of the American Heart and American Stroke Association, proud co-sponsor.
Thank you.
Donna Archukovich, California State PTA, in support.
Thank you.
Kimberly Rosenberger with Service Employees International Union in strong support.
Thank you very much.
Hugh Lay, California State Firefighters Association, in support.
Very good. Thank you. Are there any witnesses in opposition? We have none noted. All right. This is, as you say, this is one of those that truly is sort of a common sense bill. I heard just this weekend a story about a fellow who had somebody in the room known CPR, he'd still be with us today. So at the age of 45, he died unnecessarily. And certainly if we teach this and we do recognize the issues of liability, I think we've addressed those appropriately. And I want to thank you for bringing this bill, and thank you for your support of those here. And with that, the chair will entertain a motion. Moved by Senator Hertzberg. Assembly member, would you like to briefly close?
Madam Chair, I respectfully ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
Very good. Please call the roll. This is due pass to a Senate appropriations.
Jackson?
Aye.
Jackson, aye. Morlock? Aye. Morlock, aye. Anderson? Hertzberg? Aye. Hertzberg, aye. Leno? Monning? Wykowski?
All right, that bill has 3 votes. We'll place it on call, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
We need an author, folks. You know, there was nowhere to go. That one was too easy. All right. Assembly Member Mays, Manshine, Holden, Quirk. You don't want to know. Campos, Gomez. Whoever has a bill up in Assembly, Senate Judiciary from the Assembly, please come on over. We have some time for you and a long calendar today. Love to be able to move through this quickly and not be here at 9 o'clock tonight. So any members of the Assembly with bills up in Senate Judiciary, we have an opening for you.